Hey, what's up? Anthony Morrison here. Glad you've made it to the next module. I am going to talk to you right now about webinars, okay? Now, you've probably seen webinars, heard of webinars. What I'm going to do is tell you how you can use webinars to get more clients for your agency, but also how you can use webinars to sell more services to your agency, right? So I think that, or to your customers. So I think that that's going to be a really awesome way. Look, the one reason that Ty asked me to come on here was to help you expand your thought process, to help you figure out, how can I make more money? How can I do more? How can I make more money from my Ecomm agency? I don't want to just focus on the one thing that everybody else is focused on. I want to be able to expand and do more, right? And that's what I really want to talk to you about. It's about taking what you're already doing and making more from it. You know, a lot of times businesses get stuck in a rut, right? They're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it works, and they make a little bit of money, and they're excited, and they're happy, and all is great. But if you want to go to the next level, if you want to make more money with your business, you got to think outside the box. You got to think a little bit differently, right? And I won't go on a long tangent about thinking differently, but some of the most successful things that I've done have happened because I thought a little bit differently about how to get clients, okay? Now, a lot of people will tell you, hey, look, all you got to do is X, Y, and Z to go get a client. I'll tell you a quick story, and then we'll kind of dive into the training. When I first started my very first online business, like the very first one, okay, I wanted to get clients. I was in a field of people, like there were just tons and tons of people that were trying to get the same clients as me. I actually started a business selling Mustang performance parts, right? So I'm selling car parts. There's a ton of people doing that. There's no real unique advantage in buying a part from me over somebody else. And everybody could play the price war, right? That's what most people did was, hey, you can buy it a little bit cheaper from me, so come buy from me, right? What I did was I took a step back and I thought to myself, how can I think differently? What's going on in my customer's mind? And that's what you need to be thinking about, is when you approach a business and you want to sell them, you know, for you to help them put their business online, you got to get inside their head. I always call it entering the conversation that's happening inside of their head, right? Think about what they're thinking about and then how to address those things before they ever ask them, right? And so here's what I did with my business. I said, hey, look, what are my customers thinking about? And the one thing I realized was that every performance business that sold performance parts, they sold, you know, we were selling e-commerce, right? Physical products, closed at 5 o'clock. Well, they closed at 5 o'clock, and we were selling expensive products. And a lot of times when you're selling something for $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000, or something that's kind of, I don't want to call it complicated, but kind of sort of like this part will work only on this Mustang and that part will work only on that Mustang. A lot of times people just want to feel comfort before they place an order. So what do? They pick up the phone and they call. Well, at 5 o'clock, every business shut down. Every business shut down at 5 o'clock. And so I started thinking, what can I offer to my clients that nobody else can? What am I willing to do? How far am I willing to go to get clients? And I thought, I'll offer 24/7 order line. And I'll just simply forward that order line to my cell phone, and I'll be available at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and so on and so forth. Here's the thing. Within about 6 months, I built that business from an idea, just an absolute idea, to hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in sales. Just almost felt like it was overnight. But the reason that it happened, and everyone said it, was I was making orders and taking orders at 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night. Two of my biggest customers were at 3:30 in the morning. They would call 3:30 in the morning every week, and they would order thousands of dollars worth of injectors for a car. And I was getting those phone calls every morning, 3:30 in the morning, right? That's when they were working. What I did was I took my business and I catered to my customer instead of telling my customer to cater their lives to me. I knew that most of my customers were at work from 9 to 5. So by the time they get off work, everybody's closed. If I'm open, and if my unique proposition to everybody is I'm open, call me, I'm going to get more clients, I'm going to get more customers, right? So you got to think a little bit differently. Don't always be thinking, don't go to these businesses and say, hey, the best thing that we can do is build you an e-commerce store, and then guess what? We can just drop the prices 10% and you'll sell. No, think of different ways to help those businesses attract the clients that they want, right? And then you can use that same methodology for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're running a business. It's an e-comm agency. You want more clients. You want more business owners to let you build their businesses and set them up and teach them and have them online, right? Okay, you got to think a little bit differently. how can I get those clients? Okay, here's what I'm going to talk about. Webinars, okay? So, webinars are a phenomenal way for you to get new clients and also for your clients to make sales, right? So this is kind of, once you learn how to do this, it works both ways. It works for everybody. Now, there are two types of webinars, all right? You can do live ones and you can do automated ones, okay? Automated. Automated is the key because we like to be able to do things one time and profit from it forever, right? That's awesome. That's making the most for the amount of time that you spend doing something. Doing live webinars obviously requires you to be live all the time. But an automated webinar allows us to create a sales presentation in an environment where people are focused, okay? They're focused because they're in this webinar, all right? It allows you to teach them and educate them on exactly what they need to understand about your business. So let's talk about how you can use webinars to get clients, okay? There's a structure when you set up your webinar that I think you should follow. This is a structure I follow, and it's because oftentimes people have problems. They want you to solve the problem, but they also want to know who you are, right? And so let's kind of go through that. All right, your structure. All right, so let's go through the structure of the webinar, okay? So the structure of the webinar. The very first thing that I do in every webinar is I tell people who I am. So who are you? All right, tell people who you are. Because listen, if they don't know who you are, they're not likely to hire you to do anything for them. They're not likely to give you their money, okay, if they don't even know who you are. So tell them who you are. If you've helped other people, tell them you've helped other people. If you've been in business for a year, tell them you've been in business for a year. If you're brand new, then tell them all the qualities about you, okay, that are going to help them make a decision to work with you. For instance, look, I work 24/7. My goal is to help my clients. All I want to do is increase your sales. All I want to do is help you make more money. Here's what I don't start off with. I graduated from so-and-so and I have a degree. Nobody cares, okay? It's just the way that it is. Nobody cares. What they care about is your drive, your determination, and your knowledge. If you have drive, determination, and knowledge, then they can see that. They can feel that. They can sense that through these webinars. And that's what's going to cause them to hire you, okay, to help them take their business online and do what you're supposed to be doing for them. So, super, super important. Tell them who you are, all right? Then, tell them what problem you're going to solve for them, okay? Tell them what problem you're going to solve for them. This is important because, hey, look, at the end of the day, all these businesses have a problem. What's their problem? Well, the ones that you're targeting is they have either got knowledge or they have got products, physical products, and they need to get them online. And they need somebody to help them get those products sold on the internet, monetized, optimized, and perfect, right? Like a machine. That's what they need. So that's the problem. That's the conversation that's going on in their head when they enter this webinar is these are all my problems with my business. What am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? Da, da, da. You start talking about what problems you're going to solve. Then, if you've got a case study, and all of you will end up with a case study once you start doing this, right? So once you start doing this, inevitably you're going to reach out to a business, you're going to make a sale, you're going to help a business get online, you're going to have a case study, okay? Once you've got one, it's great to insert that case study right here. Because look, we've told people who we are. We've told them what problem we're here to solve. Now let's show them proof that we've solved that problem for someone else, okay? Let's show them proof that we solved the problem. Then what we do is we tell them how we solved the problem, okay? Because the how is very important. You can't just go through here and say, hey, look, I can help solve these problems, and here's a case study, buy my product, okay? It doesn't work that way. We're in a content world now, right? You can get so much content completely free on YouTube and on Instagram and right here at ilopez.com, and you get it forever, everywhere, right? So you've got to show them how you do things. How are you going to do this? How did you solve this problem, okay, that created this case study? Because ultimately what they need to see is how you're going to help their business. What steps are you going to take, right? Because as a business owner, especially these smaller businesses who have not branched out and put their business online, right? they're a little closed off to this kind of stuff. They're scared. They're like, I don't want my personal Facebook to show up on this and stuff like that. You've got to break down those walls, right, and those barriers, because even though those things don't even exist, our personal Facebook has absolutely nothing to do with how we're going to handle this for them, but they don't know that. So what you need to do is outline the process of how you go about solving this problem, okay? Then once you do that, you're going to make the offer, okay? You're going to make the offer. Run out of whiteboard space here. All right, we're going to make the offer. Making the offer is where you explain to them how much it's going to cost to get you started, okay? Doing this right here, which is the how, okay? Just like you did for this right here, which is the case study, to solve this right here, which is their problem. You see, what you're doing is you're working backwards, right? So when we make this offer, all right, we're telling people how we're going to solve the problem. We're showing them we've already solved the problem. We're telling them what the problem is, and we already know what it is, because that's what we used to get them on the webinar. And of course, they know, like, and trust us because we've told them who we are, so we've built a little bit of rapport. We've built a little bit of that kind of goodwill, if you will, with people, so that they feel a little better about working with us, right? Look, if you use this, and then the most important thing you can do in any presentation, doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter if it's online or if you're walking into these businesses and you're sitting down with them saying, let me help you, okay? Biggest, most important thing, stories. Stories sell. I know I've heard Ty talk about this before. Stories sell. The more stories you can tell, okay, the more people know who you are, the more people understand you, the more people begin to bond with you. And the more that happens, the more revenue you're going to generate. I guarantee you that. Stories sell. So you want to mix those stories strategically into your webinar, all right? When you add these stories in, you always want to be looking for how can I tie that story, okay, into this problem. Like, for instance, I told you a story earlier. I said, hey, when I started my first business, there were a lot of people that were in the same space. I needed to get customers. I didn't know how. So let me tell you what I did. And I started telling you a story about how I picked up the phone at 3:30 in the morning, right? But what I was doing was I was teaching you how I solved the problem. I told you there was a problem, and that was I needed to get customers, and I didn't know how. And then I told you how I solved it, right? By having a 24-hour line. And then I even gave you a case study. And I did all of that inside of one story. So think about that. We all have those stories that we can tell, and those stories are designed to sell. Now, you can also offer this setup to your clients, right? So you can use this to get clients, all right? So we talk about like you getting clients, so get clients, all right? So we want you to get clients using automated webinars, okay? But with an Ecomm agency, your goal is to make more money, right? Your goal is to have more services that you can sell to a client, all right, so that you can increase your revenues. So you can use it to get clients, but you can also use it to make more money. It's that simple. You can use this to make more money, because now what you can do is you can go to those same attorneys or CPA, tax advisors, whatever, and you can say, hey, look, I've got a structure that works. I can build you this automated webinar. I can help you structure out a presentation, and that presentation is going to sell your product for you. And then I'll help you market that. So think about that. What are we doing? We're taking their content, okay? We're creating a digital product instead of a physical product, and we're using an automated system to sell it. Think about how appealing that is, because a lot of these people, they have to go through all of this stuff on the telephone with clients, right? They have to try to sell a client over and over and over again on a phone, none of which is going to build the rapport that an automated webinar will build when you can see a video and you can really relate to people. You can set this up once and it's done. That's what's great about it. If you, as your agency, go out and you sell a client on setting up an automated webinar to deliver a masterclass or to sell a product for them, you set it up once and it's done. There's nothing else that you have to do for that client. And that, I think, is appealing, right? Because in so many other instances, like especially with physical products, companies are always changing their products. It's this product today, that product tomorrow, got a new product this day, got a new product that day. You're constantly having to go in there and update products or show them how to update products, how to get new products on the site, all that stuff. Look, here's the thing. With this, you set it up, it's completely automated. Every person that goes through it gets a unique experience, and you've got a blueprint here, okay? This is literally the blueprint that we've used to do, I don't know, probably $40 million in sales through webinars, all right? I mean, all through automated webinars, right here. This is the formula. And when you use that formula, you reach everybody, okay? Anybody that comes to this webinar, if they have this problem, okay, then you've got a pinpoint presentation. Now, if they don't have this problem, they know it right off the bat because we've talked about it right here, right at the beginning of the webinar. So if they don't have this problem, they can leave because this isn't for them, right? You're not going to be able to help them. That's why we address the problem right up front so that we qualify our audience, and the people that continue through our presentation then end up having a presentation that's actually going to help them. Now, some people say, you know, hey, look, that's great, Anthony, this is awesome, but I don't really want to be on a camera. You don't have to be. The great thing about webinars is that you don't actually have to put your face on anything. You can literally just do a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, and click through it, record it, and go through all of these pieces, and you'll be able to sell your product online. So webinars, awesome ways for you to generate clients. I mean, Ty said, Anthony, come in, show people how to get clients. First thing I would do if I started an e-com agency and I wanted to get more and attract more clients, I would put together a quick webinar explaining who I am, what I'm going to do for you, showing you how I've done it for some other people, showing you how I'm going to do it for you, and then making you an offer to work with me. Like, this is what I would do. This is the process that I would take. And this is the process that will generate more clients, more leads for you, which is going to help you make more money. Then I would take that knowledge that I just acquired and I would turn right around and I would go and sell that knowledge to my customers and say, look what I can do for you now, right? And you charge a monthly fee or an upfront fee, however you want to do this, to create this automated webinar for them and to make sure that it stays up and running, which really doesn't require a whole lot of anything, each and every week. So super, super simple stuff to do. There are tons of different platforms for automated webinars. One of the ones we use is EverWebinar. You can Google that, check it out. It's called EverWebinar. It allows you to literally go in and structure this whole thing all inside of one platform. So super easy, and something that you can also build many different webinars in, right? So here's the trick, all right? When you build out these automated webinars for businesses, now I've approached doing this in the past because this is such a huge thing for people. Like, they really need this and they want this. If you build them inside of your account, you can charge a monthly fee to leave these things running. So maybe it's $250 a month, right? So as long as they're generating $250 from this automated webinar, which, I mean, they should be, right, if you're doing your job, then there's no real reason for them to cancel this. Well, you're not having to pay to have many different webinars in there, right? Like, you can literally just have as many as you want. So this is a great way to build up recurring income for your business, right? So think of different ways that you can use these webinars and this structure to get more clients and to make more money in your agency by helping other businesses set things up just like this. I got some homework for you, all right? The first thing I want you to do is I want you to script out, okay? And I normally just take, literally, I'm a notepad person, so I take a piece of paper and I write. But write out your script, okay? Take this structure, who you are, the problem you're solving, the case studies, how you would fix things for people, and then the offer. Write that out, okay? Go ahead, write it out right now, and then jot down two stories that you can tell, okay? Later on in the next module, so we're going to talk about what we can do with this. What I want you to do is have a structure for your business, how you're going to use a webinar to get more clients for your e-com agency. So take this structure, fill in the lines, okay, with your personal business, your personal experience, target two stories that you can tell in your webinar. All right, they're going to help build reciprocity with people. They're going to help build confidence with the people that are watching so that you can generate more sales. And when you're done with that, go ahead and move on to the next lesson.